Holly's Arizona Lifestyle Podcast. And I'm so happy to be here with my favorite listing partner, Adam Dahlberg with 72 Sold.
Hello.
Hello. And Sarah Perkins with Navi Title.
Hi, Holly.
And of course, Brian Nelson, Mayor First Financial.
Good to be here.
Missed you last week, buddy.
I know.
Yeah. You're thinking you were still on break for the 4th of July.
Yeah.
Take a 2-week trip.
Take a little vacation every now and then.
Good for you. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Hardest working guy in Arizona, I think, when it comes to lending.
Baby.
You're one of the smartest ones I know.
Who outworks you? I don't think anybody does.
I don't know if anyone outworks me, but
Certainly no one outsmarts him.
I like what I do, so.
Getting deals done. So, well, thanks for having us back, Holly.
Yeah, I'm
being
really
here with you.
excited. And Sarah and I were talking about what would be a good topic today. And both of us being from Chicago, why not talk about why people are moving from Chicago to Arizona? And of course, one of the popular reasons is our beautiful climate, except today we're pretty hot, but
Yeah. Beauty has looks different to a lot of different people, right?
that's right.
Sunshine.
My parents are from Chicago, and they came out here and they were attracted to the desert. To me, the desert is listen, I live in Gilbert in an area that's pretty green. We have trees and grass and things like that. I think that's beautiful. It is humid though when they water the grass. Scottsdale up here has a different twist on it, right? Scottsdale likes to make everything look brown for whatever reason. They want to keep it like that natural desert landscape. And some people think that that's beautiful too. What I find is people from those parts of the country that are trees and woody areas like Chicago, they just love that desert landscape look, and I grew up here, so I like the trees and grass. Isn't it weird?
It is weird, but I also think that when we come out here, it's a little bit laid back. Like going from Chicago, it was really hustle, bustle, lots of traffic. Here, it's just more calm and
People are nicer.
People don't even curse in Arizona. Did you know that? You go back to East Coast, New Jersey, Philadelphia, they're just loudmouth. They'll tell you where to go. You're just dropping off food. You're the pizza guy, and they're telling you get off their porch.
Right.
Out here, yeah, they don't use bad words.
Never.
Believe them.
Because we're all from different places, most of us.
Laid back lifestyle.
I was going to say it's the sunshine. The sunshine is what makes people come here because the sun doesn't shine in Chicago except for a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice there like 6 weeks a year. And it's nice here like 8 months a year. So
Exactly.
I think it's 9 months a year. It's a lot easier to be here.
And it's also I think a healthier lifestyle because you can be outside, enjoy outdoor recreational activities.
Oh, and the street signage is awesome for somebody who gets lost everywhere she goes. In Chicago, there's no signs anywhere. And here they even have signs to tell you what road is coming up. It's my favorite.
Yes.
It is easy to navigate.
Yeah, that grid pattern.
And then
but Chicago's
the cost of living.
different.
The cost of living is a lot less here than it is in Chicago.
Taxes.
Taxes, property taxes.
I would argue the gas, though. Gas, I think, is really expensive compared to other places in the country.
Yeah, we've been
Gasoline.
running #1 most expensive city in the country on gas.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, give it 10 years.
They go up and
You'll
down.
see Most cars will be electric by then.
Well, let's hope so, right? I know you were on that train early, brother.
It's coming.
I'm with you.
It's coming. You see more and more electric stuff every day.
What goes up and down faster, gas prices or mortgage rates?
Gas.
Think?
They're
I don't know.
both very volatile.
Yeah.
I think that I just want it to be gas because when interest rates are stable, people feel more confident.
Seem to be moving quite a bit, but still relatively low overall home prices for the rest of the country. What was that list you were talking about the other day, Sarah, where it was like the top 15 cities where 50% or more of homes on the market were over $1 million?
Well, there were 5 that were 50. 5 cities in the country have 50% or more of their listings are over $1 million. 4 of those cities are in California, which is not that surprising. Number 5 is Boston. But again, Boston is it's really small. And so if you want to buy in Boston proper, it's expensive.
Right.
And then I think we were number 13. Does that sound right? Phoenix was...
We were in the top 15.
We were in the top 15. It was 12 or 13. At just about 18% of our listings are over $1 million. And that was pretty surprising, but that really does reflect how, home prices have appreciated across the country
Is that
significantly.
Phoenix, just Phoenix, or Phoenix Metro with all
Phoenix Metro.
Gotcha.
Not including condos and manufactured, I'm assuming, right?
There's some $1 million condos.
Oh,
Optima. Yeah, the Optima.
There
That's
are
A
right.
lot of them.
There's-
Waterfront.
You've got
True.
some Class
Yeah,
A stuff.
There is.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Even in Tempe, over by what is it called? Like 303 Lakeview.
Oh, like on the water there, on the
Mhm.
lake, Tempe Town Lake.
Right.
Some $1 million condos out there. Well, some of those condos are like super luxurious.
They're so nice. They're little.
A friend of mine, Rob, who I've known for a long time, worked for Intel for a long time, about 20, 25 years. One of these like straight out of school, right into Intel jobs. And he retired, at a young age, and then decided to get his real estate license because his wife was a realtor. They had a really, really nice house in Chandler. And this was like in the middle of nowhere back in the day. This would be like if you bought a house like out in Florence, When I moved to Chandler back in like 2004, the 101 still didn't go all the way out, right? You had to exit at like Ray Road or something like that. And it was just like dirt road. And then you would take this other dirt road down past a dairy to get to this little community. And he lived even a little bit beyond that, but beautiful home, 5-bedroom home, just massive, had an Olympic sized pool in the backyard. So retires, has really no need for this home. Although at the time, this is when the market was booming, they sold it for like, I don't know, well over $1 million. He probably bought it for like $350,000 back in the day.
Wow.
And they got a condo in Optima, and they just love that lifestyle of, kind of like that
Lock and
millennial.
leave.
Yeah, exactly. They can travel. They don't have to worry about,
Right.
a quarter acre of property and a pool guy and all that. And I see that trend, really kind of exploding from the mindset of these buyers that are just like, man, I just don't want to deal with the heartache of homeownership. I want to be outside. I want to be going out and, not having to spend my weekends
Doing
mowing the
the lawn.
grass and fixing up the homeowner stuff. But so there's a lot of these luxury condo communities out there where you can still, be an owner, gain equity over time, but have a lifestyle that maybe you're looking for that's a little bit more millennial set. I think your daughter just bought a condo, right? Yeah,
daughter,
and Brittany.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got to shove something in about Optima. The designer, the architect, and the developers all are based in Chicago and moved here. And so the president of Optima I went to high school with. But it's pretty funny because when you think about that, I'm like, oh yeah, look, it's another person that said we have to get out of here and come to Phoenix and build and make things beautiful. And they're really cool.
Right. So it's like a metropolitan lifestyle here in the full sunny Arizona.
Yeah, I see that a lot. I see a lot of the condo developments with more and more amenities, and even see that with the apartments. A lot of the apartment complexes have super nice amenities now. Of course, you're going to pay
for
really high prices compared to where it's been over the last 3, 4, or 5 years. They've doubled, but lots of amenities, and people do like that lifestyle of just having. It's almost like an all-inclusive resort to a certain extent.
And the pricing on those too, I'm glad you brought that up because it's not cheap to get into an apartment. Your monthly payment is probably as much as you pay on a condo mortgage, right? To just get into an apartment is going to be probably about $6,000 to $10,000 on any basic Mark Taylor type property because you have your, first month, your security deposit, and God forbid if you have a pet, you're paying through the roof there. So, your entry fee to renting something is really the same entry fee to buying something. And in some cases, even more because there's great programs out there that, with the right agent and the right lender, you're able to get in with relatively zero money out of pocket or close to it, especially with things like sellers offering concessions and things like that. So, what are you finding when you're transitioning a buyer, let's say, from an apartment, the rental mentality into buying something? Is it sticker shock for them or are they pleasantly surprised?
No, I think it's really, from what I've seen with most first-time buyers, they're tired of paying rent. And it's just a matter of qualifying and finding something that's within their budget. But, renters are seeing continually the same thing throughout, and that is that when they go to renew their lease, the new lease is substantially more. So they're going to be paying a lot more money, and really it's looking to see what they can get into a home for now. and finding out that it's really not that much more compared to where they're going to be paying on their new rent payment. That's why a lot of first-time homebuyers are making the jump into home ownership, is because rent prices are not affordable any longer. Very rare to see someone that has rent under $1,500 a month. And most of the time, I talked to someone probably about 2 weeks ago. The rent was going up $800, and they had lived in the place for 2 years. But that's what the market rent has done in their particular area. And I cannot remember where they lived, but it's just jumped. And they were like, I'm not going to be paying $800, pissing that money away any longer. I'd rather get into a home, even if the payment's more. And now I own it. So.
Yeah.
And I think in one of the team calls, you were saying, I had heard that how the appreciation is going up so much on homes.
Absolutely. Houses, I mean, we're up over just in 2023, roughly 7%, appreciation. And that was, it's contrary to a lot of what the headlines say. And so really knowing what's actually happening is important because, prices are going up and there are multiple offers and a lot of things that are closing over asking.
Right.
It's surprising.
It's such a great way of, like we always talk about how to build wealth, and also if you enjoy the money you have.
Yeah. And the other thing too, especially for younger buyers and maybe first-time buyers, is with the unaffordability of rent anymore. Whether that be, if you're renting an apartment or a small condo or even a single family that you found on a, rental site or Craigslist or something, the market rents have significantly gone up to the point where they're almost unaffordable. So if you want to make that jump from an apartment that might be going up to purchasing a home that you can have for the next 15 to 30 years and build equity and build a nest egg for yourself and your family, what if you offered out a room to somebody to rent out to supplement what you would maybe the payment's a little bit more, maybe your down payment's a little bit more, maybe you're helping a buddy out by renting out a room for $800 or $1,000 a month, because I guarantee you they cannot find that anywhere else out there. There is no $800 or $1,000 rentals. I work in the East Valley. I'm in Mesa and Apache Junction.
Right.
The two places you would think that you would find $800 and $1,000 rentals. They don't exist anymore. So, there's a term called house hacking where basically people have built significant wealth for themselves over time by making these purchases on homes and then renting out. Let's say it's a 3-bedroom home. You rent out 1 or 2 of the rooms to a couple of buddies and it pays your rent for you, not your rent, but their rent covers your mortgage payment. And so it lessens the impact of everybody, because chances are if you have to get into the rental world nowadays, especially if you're a younger person and a kind of a starter job, you're going to have a roommate anyway. You might as well develop that equity over time and help your buddies out. So.
The other thing that I'm thinking is, if you are from Chicago and you're thinking about moving here, the sooner you can get your hands on a property, the better off you're going to be, whether you have to rent it and go on house hacking, or we could even help you rent it through our networks. But the sooner you can, put your hands on a property, the better off you're going to be for your lifestyle and retirement or your family.
And the one thing that you have to remember too, that from Chicago here, you're not going to get killed on your property taxes like you do back in Chicago. It's not $10,000, $12,000 a year in property taxes out here. $40,000.
$20,000.
Yeah.
Must be living in some big houses in Chicago. But either way, just those insane prices that you're paying for taxes.
What are property taxes around here?
Let's say a normal, let's say a $400,000 home, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. $3,000 to $4,000 a year, maybe.
If even that.
Maybe.
Most $400,000 homes in the Phoenix area, property taxes are under $2,000 a year. So you're looking at about $160 a month versus a $400,000 house in Chicago or Texas or some of the states back east, New Jersey, California. You're looking at property taxes of $8,000, $9,000 a year on average. So instead of paying $160 a month, you're paying $700 to $800 per month just in property taxes. And then the insurance is also significantly more too in a lot of other states. I was doing some loans for some people in Texas and Houston with the floods years ago. You can't even touch insurance for under $3,000 a year, which is $250 a month. An average homeowner's insurance policy on a $400,000 house, it's always under $100 a month, under $1,200 a year. So you're paying 2.5 times more in some of those other states. And God forbid you go to Florida or somewhere where notorious for weather catastrophes, you're paying $5,000-$6,000 a year.
And it's going to get higher because so many of the different insurance companies are pulling out of different states. I mean, Farmers and State Farm both just pulled out of California. Farmers just pulled out of Florida. So there are, there's going to be less competition. So those prices are going to go up.
You can't get insurance in your house in Florida? That's unbelievable.
From Farmers
Certain
Insurance or State Farm. So there's some that just are refusing, or they'll cover you if you have it, but then once you sell it, they will not reinsure it with a new buyer. And that's what, when I say pulling out, it's not saying, hi, we're canceling you.
A lot of these companies have taken massive losses
Huge.
from some of the weather, global warming, whatever it
fires.
is. But there seems to be more significant weather catastrophes happening all over the place. I did a loan probably about 8 months ago for a lady that relocated from Arizona to Oklahoma. And she just happened to be in the wind tunnel zone. Tornadoes. Wow. And the insurance was $2,000 to $3,000 per year, and that home that she bought was $250,000 home. It would be $700 a year in Arizona. It was $3,000 a year. So it's so much significantly cheaper to live in Arizona, even with home prices have gone up substantially here because of so many people moving here, and mainly supply and demand. There's just not enough homes on the market. Builders are still building. There's still opportunities, but it's still significantly cheaper to live here, your cost of living, versus these other states around the country and in the Midwest.
For sure.
And the quality of life here, just from our outdoor activities, which so many hiking and.
The one thing we don't have is Arizona style pizza. Everyone, you got Chicago, you got New York, Quad City. Every major city in the East Coast and Midwest has their own style of pizza.
I read about Detroit pizza yesterday.
Detroit pizza, they got pizza from, I don't know, I think Wyoming's got their own.
But we have Chicago style pizza here.
Well, that's called lasagna, right? If you want lasagna.
No, we have Malnati's just
Malnati's, oregano.
Those deep dish pizzas are just, wow.
One maybe slice weighs 4 pounds.
We used to have Uno's. They were good. Are they still around? I don't know. Uno's had good pizza.
And we have Malnati's.
Uno's is here still, isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
But Lou Malnati's, I haven't been. That was really where I went to birthday parties growing up. It's a Lou Malnati's.
You do see quite a few places, though, starting to open up their own style of pizza from other places here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they bring it here.
I
just saw a place over in Macy's called Quad City style pizza. I'm like, what the hell's Quad City?
I know where there's
they got their own kinds of pizza.
It's a border between Iowa and Illinois that has the Quad Cities, 2 in Illinois, 2 in Iowa.
Yeah, they got their own pizza. Apparently it's delicious. So we need to come up with our own Phoenix style pizza, Arizona pizza. I've been working on it for probably about a year. I think I almost have it. Real thin.
Gluten-free.
You can definitely do it.
An option.
I'm getting hungry.
Real thin, a little bit of a spicy, almost barbecue-y type sauce to it.
Or tomato-y.
Green peppers.
Yeah, chunky. It's chunky. Yep, the sauce is
I love that pizza place we go to.
Where?
Spinato's? Yes.
Yeah, Spinato's.
Really
they're Chicago style.
Yeah.
Spinato's is good.
Yeah.
Good.
In my opinion, that's the best pizza in Arizona.
Oh, it's great.
think.
I love it.
They got a sweet sauce.
Adam, share with us some of the retirement communities, like the 55 plus communities.
Well, you have you have 3 levels, I guess, of them. You have the really high luxury places for people that are over 55 that are on golf courses and have a lot of community events. And Encantera is one of them. They're beautiful out in the East Valley. We have 2 major cities out here that are nothing but retirement communities, Sun Lakes and Sun City, both on opposite ends of the valley. So, these are entire not even neighborhoods. It's its own town, really. It's its own city. That's just here locally within the metro area. But, and then they're segmented into different size homes, and you have a place like Oakwood that has a really beautiful golf course and country club center. And, they have all tons of, events that happen throughout. Really nice homes ranging from, maybe a $350,000, $400,000 2-bedroom all the way up to the $1 million plus, homes on the green. So those are really nice. And then
Del Webb.
What's that?
Del Webb.
Del Webb is another one. Yeah, that's a little bit further out, but they're going bonkers too. Things are expensive out there. The ones that I envision me wanting to live in are probably a little bit closer into town, but that's just because I like to get out and do stuff, But what's nice is a lot of these communities are just very self-contained. They have, especially if you're a golfer. Arizona's known for golf, right? And now pickleball. So they all have pickleball
fitness centers.
Yeah, fitness centers and
pools,
really nice
activities.
pools. And some of them even are not that expensive. You can get into some 55 and over communities that are actual, they basically be considered manufactured communities, but the manufactured homes that are in them are not. This isn't like Trailer Park City. You know what I mean? This isn't some where the tornado is going to come through and blow your trailer away type thing. They're manufactured homes, but in the sense that they call them that because they've been built and manufactured in a controlled environment within a factory and then delivered and set up. So, there is a big, I think, misconception about manufactured homes. The mentality around them is, it's trailer trash and it's cheap. And these homes, most of them, I would even say, most of the newer ones anyway, are built better than a stick-built home. These are homes that are built within a controlled factory on an assembly line. They use typically higher grade material because they're regulated differently than homes are. The federal government back in, I want to say 1978, I think 76, and then it came into effect in 78, had to have a standardized process on building these homes because they had to travel down the road to be delivered. They had to withstand wind loads and tornado loads and hurricane wind forces and that type of stuff. And before that, anybody could just build a trailer, build a manufacturer. Those are the ones you see getting blown away during tornadoes and stuff, if any of them still exist. So, but after that, they became regulated, really high standards. And, a lot of times they're built with like 2x6 framing instead of just, the cheap 2x4s. They're not exposed to weather. You see some of these communities out here that, they start building, they frame out, a couple of dozen homes and then they get delays. Happened during COVID, everything kind of shut down and these homes just sat out and rotted. And, I can't imagine the wood and stuff getting weathered. So these are homes that are built in the factory. And then because they're regulated on a federal level where they have to withstand things that we don't experience here, we don't have hurricanes or tornadoes or gale force, big storms. And we have monsoons that last for 15 seconds. But it's not like, then they're not traveling down the highway at 80 miles an hour. They get put in place and they're done. These homes are built so much like they're like bomb proof. And then they're now modernized and built really, really well to where when you walk inside of one of them,
they're pretty.
You can't even tell there's no paneling anymore. This isn't, the cheap, wood, cheap paneling. It's all drywall, high-end appliances, tile floors, walk-in showers. You would think you're in a 2,000 square foot, $500,000 home, and you bought this thing for $150,000, $120,000.
Right, they're lovely and they're gated.
Now you are paying typically in some of those communities, unless there's a few special like Venture Out and some of these other ones where you actually own your lot. But you do pay a monthly lot fee, and that's kind of what scares people off a lot of times. Is they feel, I don't want to be stuck to a $700 or $800 a month lot payment on that. That's garbage, And the thought processes on that is, yeah, I can understand that. It makes sense, right? But on the flip side, that same house, that same size where you own the land is going to cost you 2-3 times what you're paying. So for $130,000, $150,000 you're paying today, it's probably going to cost you over $400,000. There's really nothing out here that's 2,000 square feet under $400,000 anymore. So you're looking at about $400,000 for that same house. And then you have to maintain the home. A lot of times that lot fee that you pay includes things like trash and sewer and sometimes your water bill. My mom lives in one of these communities, includes free Wi-Fi. So, when you start adding all of those things up and you own the land, you own the house and the lot itself, you're paying, in addition, all those other expenses. But then also you're just in a standard neighborhood. Here you're in a gated community. You have a rec center, you have a pool, you have activities, you have pickleball courts and tennis courts. You have, especially during the winter months, you have almost on a weekly basis, you have things that come through like live bands. And, my mom's place where she lives over in Mesa, it's like, I think in the wintertime, Friday morning at like 7 a.m., a bus pulls in. People just kind of pile on the bus. They go up to Laughlin. They spend the day up at Laughlin. They gamble. They come back the next day or that night or something. So there's all of these things where you're amongst your peers. And if you're on a fixed income where you know every month you're getting a retirement payment, you're getting some income, are you really at that point in your life, 60, 70 years old, where you're looking to build some equity? Maybe you have your home that you raised the family and you turn that into a rental. That's what you're going to donate to the kids when you pass on. But now you're just on kind of a monthly budget. And here now you can afford something and roll in that monthly fee into your monthly budget. And that's really all you have to worry about. You don't have to worry about those crazy expenses that might pop up. Like if your sewer line breaks and it's 15 grand, to take it out, or some weird, you don't have those types of expenses. And because it's a manufactured home that's typically newer, you really don't have any maintenance on the thing either. And fixing a manufactured home is a fraction of the price of fixing a regular house because a lot of the stuff goes underneath it. So water line breaks, wiring, whatever, you just go underneath it, you fix it, and it's done. Because we don't have basements.
Adam is definitely an expert on those type of homes. And if you're interested in doing like a country club atmosphere or, a patio home or mountain views, we have access to that as well. Lovely communities for that too.
Yeah, whatever level of lifestyle you're looking for as a person of 55 and over, this is like the Florida of the West Coast, right? We just don't have the weather issues that Florida does. You're from New York and Jersey and Philly, you go down to Florida. You're from anywhere on the West Coast, you're going to come to Arizona.
Got it all.
We've got it all.
Yeah.
So we have lifestyle, we have really great experience.
And I think we have more lazy rivers here than they do. We were talking about lazy rivers last week. I don't know, were you here for the lazy rivers? 13 resorts in Arizona with lazy rivers. Well, 12, because you don't really want to include the one at the Buttes because it's not really a river. It's just like a little path. That pool. So 12 lazy rivers, true lazy rivers here in Arizona. And my goal next summer, I'm going to hit them all. Every single one of them.
Perfect.
That is my June, July. That's my goal for next summer.
Well, you're a man of your words. I'm sure you will. And just from my own personal experience, when I moved from Arizona to Chicago, I must say for the first few years, I felt like I was always on vacation, just with the sunny and all the activities and the great quality of life here. I want to